In this video, we're going to talk about the purpose and the function of DNA replication. We're going to explain why DNA replication occurs, explain and identify how DNA replication occurs, and identify and describe the stages of DNA replication. Every cell needs a copy of our genetic information. Okay, we remember that DNA is found in every living cell, and we need to make a copy of that one before we can start to produce new cells. Okay, I want you to think of the DNA just like a really, really old ancient book. We don't want to use that DNA itself, okay, because it is so vital. It codes for everything in our body. We want to make a copy of that one, so we're going to place that ancient book in the photocopier and make a copy of it. Okay, that's the reason why, or the idea of why we copy DNA. Okay, because it's such a vital molecule in our body. So as we develop from a single cell, we need to have an exact copy of DNA in every cell, okay? The purpose of DNA replication is to produce two identical copies of the DNA molecule, just like the photocopier. It's essential for cell division and for the growth of damaged tissue along with the repair, okay? If we're repairing damaged tissue, we're using the process known as mitosis. Okay, DNA replication occurs before mitosis. If you look at the cell cycle video, so DNA replication ensures that each new cell retrieves or receives a copy of the DNA. Okay, so here we're looking at the structure of DNA, and one thing we haven't really pointed out is this 5' and 3' end. Okay, each strand of DNA runs in the opposite direction to one another. We've got our sugar, our phosphate, and our base. Okay, notice here that we've got a phosphate group that is pointing up. That is the 5' end to this DNA molecule. Okay, 5' here with the phosphate pointing up, and then the 3' end is going to be the end down the bottom here. Okay, this side of the DNA molecule is flipped around the other way. Okay, it's pretty much like the one on the left-hand side, but it has been inverted. Therefore, our 3' end is starting at the bottom, just like the one down the bottom here. And our 5' end, just like this one, has been flipped around so it's sticking up the top. Okay, so we're going to start looking at the process of DNA replication. So DNA must replicate itself before division can take place. Okay, we know this. Each DNA molecule acts as a template to produce a strand opposite to itself. Okay, if we look at the diagram of it down the bottom here, we can see this blue is our template strand, our original piece of DNA. We're going to make a copy of this DNA by adding these little red nucleotides, these free nucleotides, to the DNA molecule. Okay, with complementary base pairing, A is going to bind with T, C is going to bind with G. We're going to have two new identical copies of DNA produced.